show you how to make the free in the hoop snowflake from Kreative Kiwi. For this I'm going to be using a 5x7 hoop, 2 layers of wash away stabiliser per hooping, and there are 7 hoopings, a matching bobbin and thread, and I'm going to be using the same colour throughout, some pins with heads on them, masking tape, my squizzers and my fabrics and batting cut to size. I'm also going to be using some iridescent mylar to make it extra sparkly, which is also known as florist's cellophane. You'll find a link to this design in the video description below. We're going to start off by hooping 2 layers of wash away stabiliser. And then we're going to pin around the top edge of the hoop to stop our stabiliser from being pulled down between the 2 hoop pieces. So take your pin, any pin with a head on it will do, place it on the inside hoop, push it through your stabiliser, bring it back round and through the stabiliser again, and that will anchor it. And you're going to do that on all 4 sides. The larger your hoop, the more pins you will use. Load the file called arm into your machine along with your neutral bobbin and thread colour, and I'm going to be using silver throughout. Pop your hoop into your machine and stitch round number 1, and that's going to give you your placement outline for your batting. Place your batting over the outline and tape it in place. Pop your hoop into your machine and stitch round number 2 to secure it. Trim away the excess batting from around the edge of the stitch line, taking care not to cut your stitches, of course. We're now going to place our fabric, so turn your hoop over, place your backing fabric over the outline and tape it in place. Place your front fabric over the top of the batting, and if you're going to use mylar, you're going to place that on top of your fabric, and then we're going to tape it all in place. Pop your hoop into your machine and stitch round number 3 to secure it. Next is the quilting pattern. If you're using mylar, you must do this step, you cannot skip it. But if you're not using mylar, then if you wanted to, you could skip it. So we're now going to stitch round number 4. We're now going to remove all the excess fabric and mylar from the back and front of the hoop, so turn your hoop over and cut around the edge, taking care not to cut your stitches. And with the mylar, you can usually just tear around the edge, and where it's perforated along the stitch line, it should just pull off really easily. And in these difficult to reach areas, then if it doesn't, just run your scissors around. And now we're going to trim away the fabric, again taking care not to cut the stitches. Load your matching bobbin and thread colour for the satin stitching around the arm into your machine, and then stitch round number 5, and I'm staying with the silver for this. Now that the stitching of the arm is done, we can now remove this from the hoop, so turn your hoop over and trim around the edge of the stitch line, taking care not to cut your stitches. We're now going to trim away the raw edge here just up to the stitch line, taking care not to cut the stitches, ready for our join later on. And that's our first arm completed, and we can now set our work aside for the minute. All you need now is another 5, and there they are. So we're now going to do the centre. Hoop and pin your 2 layers of wash away stabiliser. Load the file called centre into your machine along with your neutral bobbin and thread colour, and then you're going to stitch round number 1, and that's going to give you the place and outline for your batting. Place your batting over the outline and tape it in place. Pop your hoop into your machine and stitch round number 2 to secure it. Trim away the excess batting from around the edge of the stitch line, taking care not to cut your stitches. We're now going to place our backing fabric, so turn your hoop over. Place your fabric over the outline and tape it in place. Pop your hoop into your machine and stitch round number 3 to secure it. We're now going to add our 6 arms and secure them in place. So you're going to align this stitch line here on top of this stitch line here between each of these markers. I'm just going to butt it up to the batting, and then you're going to tape it in place. We're now going to place our fabric over the top and our mylar on top of that as well, and secure it in place with some masking tape. Pop your hoop into your machine and stitch round number 4 to secure it all. We're now going to stitch round number 5, and that's going to do the quilting of the centre. We're now going to trim away the excess fabric and mylar from both back and front of the hoop, so turn your hoop over and trim around the edge, taking care not to cut your stitches. load your matching bobbin and thread colour for the satin stitching around the centre into your machine, and then you're going to stitch round number 6, and that's going to zigzag and then do the satin stitching. So now that all the stitching is done, we're now going to free this from the hoop. So turn your hoop over, and taking care not to cut any of your stitches or your arms underneath, we're now going to free this from the hoop. You can actually cut through these guidelines though. All that remains for us to do now is to get rid of all the excess stabiliser. So turn your snowflake over to the back, take a cotton bud and some warm water, dip it in and just run it around the joins. We're now going to do the same around the edge. And that's our snowflake completed. Tell me what you think of it. I hope you enjoyed this stitch along. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to be notified of new videos as soon as they're published. Do pop along to Creative Kiwi's Facebook group. There's always lots of ideas, help and inspiration there for everybody. And thank you very much for joining me. You'll find a link to this design in the video description below, along with lots of other information such as where I get my supplies and some discount codes for you as well. See you next time.